Well, it's a beautiful day in Greenwich, London. It's the 10th of October 2015, and I'm at the Paul Mcpherson Gallery catching up with Aleksandar Basic. I first met Alex last year after being invited to his first exhibition at the Mcpherson Gallery in April, and it's a privilege to meet him and be invited again.
Hi.
Hello, Alex.
Hi, nice to see you again.
It's been a year since I saw you.
It's been a year since April, I think. April, yeah, just the beginning of April last year. That's when we saw each other.
Oh, we're back at the Mcpherson Gallery in Greenwich.
Paul Mcpherson Gallery in Greenwich, yes, that's right.
So what have you been doing during the last year?
Well, this is my development for past 3 years. It was overlapping with the other projects which I am working on.
Yes.
So this is an exhibition called The Origin of the World, and it's based on partly on Gustave Courbet, nude ladies, and not just ladies. It's a perception of his paintings in a way, made in a modern, original way.
Yes.
I was trying to think how he would do paintings and what materials he would use if he was alive today. Now, he created some paintings in the 1860s, 66, so that's 150 years approximately. Yes. Some of the paintings are been described as very offensive, and he had trouble. He was a very contemporary man at his time. He was involved in politics, and he did everything different, and he tried to do something new in painting, trying to get perspective and people in it, and even the names of the paintings, trying to do it in a different way. So he was going against the grain, if you can say it in that way.
Yes.
Trying to invent something new, because he was fed up with old. I'm not really at his level, but I'm in my own kind of presenting these works. So this one is quite interesting one, and it looks like a lady catching a bird.
I like the colours you've got in the birds. They're almost metallic looking, aren't they?
Yeah, it's like a parrot. That's what it is actually on the original painting. So I recreated this, as you can see, slightly different, brighter colours. The hair colour is quite interesting. Purple hair, which we could see today.
Yes.
There's specifically inside of the hair, some people notice figures. You can see the back and probably the lower back, and on this side almost like somebody's having a shoulder and a back and almost like a leg. So it's a trick. What can painting do? Optical illusion in a way. It's almost like a surreal part of it. And then there is that sharp lines and cubist as well influences, which I'm very interested in. Also, I'm using new things in the painting. For example, in this one I'm using spray paint, which has been sprayed on the side, and also hair, human hair, which is my own hair. You can see just on this area here is the hair, but on the other ones there is larger parts which are actually used. So on this side, for example,
what's this one called?
This one is called Two. And I'm thinking on two ladies. I don't want to disrupt too much with the title. I prefer to leave people to think what is happening.
Yes.
There's a gentle touch of two hands. There's a look in the eye. If you can see the eyes, it's just a suggestion of eyes. And then also on the back, in the background, you can actually see the text, which is quite significant. I'm using that almost a text to put as a wallpaper. Now this text is actually saying the origin of the world, and this is my subject. I'm using Gustave Courbet's painting Origin of the World as my theme, as my starting point, and I have recreated that painting in my own way, because I see he was contemporary artist at his height, and he was receiving awards in a way. But he was criticized quite harshly.
Yes.
Now this painting is the origin of the world, and it's been created with spray paint, acrylic and ink, and hair as well. Now I have used the text to actually create a shape, and I have used these lines, very crude lines. In a sense, that I want these lines to be looked upon, not like they've been made mechanically, but actually that the hand is obvious, the artist is present on this painting.
Yeah.
So it's not a print, it's a process. There is lines which are done with acrylic, there is spray paint which has been done with a stencil.
Yeah.
And it's a search. From a distance, you can see what it is. It's obvious triangle, it's obvious shape, it's a female part of the body.
Yeah, fertility.
Yes. However, when he created it, recently, some paintings have been discovered of his, that paint was actually chopped up and that part was just been put on display privately. Now, the head of the person has been found in 2012 or 2013. So that part is actually, which is missing. But my point is, the cropping of this painting is so significant and it wasn't showed in the world for so long. It was hidden from the world, almost like some kind of mistake, because it was part which was working well and the other part was discarded, now found. And we can see how upsetting that could be.
Yes.
Even today, people could be offended by this painting.
Yeah.
While at that time, it was very brave to be able to do painting as such. Now,
So when did he do his painting?
1866.
Right.
This is when he painted it.
Yeah, so it's about 200 years ago, just under 200 years ago.
150.
Yeah, that's not a long time, is it? Everything's changed so quick.
Well, everything has changed, but the problems.
Because it's only 200 years ago when Nelson was held in Plymouth Harbour.
Yeah, true. Well, look at the Greenwich now, how it looks now, and how it looked at that time. It's totally changed. New development, new buildings. Harbour is changed. It's almost disappeared. Now we can't see harbour. There's ferries only coming around, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
I love it the way it's changed because we don't use harbour anymore. But some things are creeping up. Some questions are coming up. 150 or 2,000 years old questions are coming up over and over and again.
Yeah.
They've been discussed quite hastily, and some people are very passionate about it.
So you're going back to the views on nudity then and now?
Well, absolutely. It's a part about nudity and the figure. That's what I am about. But other people who are looking at it, they don't see specifically about nudity and people. They're looking about different interpretation of the pictures.
Yes.
Some people are favoring for it and some people are against it. So it's a very tricky subject.
Yeah.
And I wanted to tackle it because I am all about figures.
I wonder why people are still or so offended with nudity, because the human form is the most beautiful thing in the world.
Absolutely. Well, look at old Greece.
It's what we're all about.
Old Greece, Romans, they were obsessed by nudity and people and having sculptures and created in that way.
Yeah.
But, however, if they've been created in the sense of they're being gods, people are perceiving it in a different way. Put in an ordinary person and exhibiting in that way.
You think it's all religious values in the UK that's...
Well, I don't see it that way, but some people do.
Yes.
So I see it as a figure. As I say, I'm a figurative artist, abstract as well, up to a certain level. Geometry is something that I'm interested in as well.
Yes.
So that all plays very nicely in the figurative person, drawing or painting. It plays really into my favorite because I'm interested in that. But some people say it that presenting it in this way is not appropriate.
Yes.
Well, I had one person who said, "No, thank you. I don't want to see this. It's obscene. It's nudity."
Yes.
So people are perceiving it in a different way.
Yeah.
I suppose
I mean,
that's
abstract.
their opinion.
I wonder which pieces of work he didn't like or she didn't like.
None of them. None of them. It's just a person passing by and said, "No, thank you." She was looking through the window and said, "I really don't like it. No, thank you. I don't want to see this."
Maybe
nudity."
she's not into art anyway.
Maybe, yeah. So I suppose, and everyone is entitled to opinion, and I'm not saying that she's saying anything wrong.
Yes.
It's her perception, and she might like something different, which is fair enough.
But it's like people like that tend to shout the loudest and get what they want. So they tend to stifle other people's creativity.
I suppose you can look at it that way, but as I say, I'm looking at it in a positive way. I'm trying to see that I'm presenting figures. It could be ordinary people, almost like these people are without faces, so we can objectify them in a way, because we can't see who that person is on the painting. None of these paintings we don't see a lot of detail. Now, if you go on the other ones where Well, it all started actually. This is where it started. These two paintings.
Yes.
And then I let it simmer. The idea was simmering for a couple of years. So this one is 2010, 2009. Then we have some images on this side, which is 2013. Like for example, this one is 2013, 2014.
Yes.
And then we're moving on to 2015. And you can see the changes, slight changes in my representation.
I think.
Well, exactly. I have actually used some new techniques which I've learned about stenciling. I don't know how to put the music down, sorry. Alright. So yeah, I'm getting comfortable with different media as well. As much as I'm getting comfortable with different techniques. And printmaking as well. This is what I was learning in university, and I'm coming back and using actually stenciling now to create some new inventive processes. While I'm using acrylic, I am using also spray paint, which is a new thing, and it does actually work well, and it gels well with acrylics. So perhaps I'll continue using.
So what made you think of using spray can?
Well, spray can, I mean, it's not a new idea, it's just something that I haven't played with, and I love getting new things into my work, and if it actually adds something to it, then I use it. If I see that it doesn't, I just abandon it, I might use it again. It's like with these paintings, when the idea started in 2009, I didn't know how far it's going to go. But in 2010 I came back to it, 2013 I had exhibitions, I had solo shows, and the idea just grows, develops. It's not quick process. Well, so it's not quick process, absolutely. But I have many other ideas which are sitting, and some of them are developing. Some of them I have already thinking for the further show, maybe even 2 shows. But it takes time, experimenting and the process of working, and as I say, maybe using different materials, which is really important to find your true self. Now, if you saw my previous exhibition, and
which is on YouTube.
It is on YouTube, and you have recorded my interview, and it's a brilliant video. I suggest that people can look at it and compare my work now and work from a couple of years ago. And they can see how it develops, it grows. It's changing slightly, but it's still connected, which I'm really pleased about. It's not it's not disappeared. There is a certain connection to it. It was figurative, previous my work, some of it. Some of them were more of objects. But it doesn't say that I'm not going to go back to objects, and I might abandon figure for the next part of it. So it's a process. It's a process which, if I knew how to do every time, I would do it. But I rather don't want to follow any traditional way of creating projects. I want to experiment, find, and express something new, and then continue with it.
So, when did this exhibition open?
It opened on 5th of October, on Monday, and it's been open for 7 days. It's closing at 17th of October on Saturday. So at the moment it's a freeze week, and there's a big art fair which is coming next week. So lots of galleries are open at the moment, presenting their work and favouring the artists.
Will you be having work in there?
No, because I was preparing specifically for this exhibition, and it was a hard work. I was working full time as well, so it is a hard work to continue with the process and experimentation and give yourself time to work on a large scale. That's probably one reason why I use paper, because it's a quicker process of working rather than oil. Oil might take longer for drawing of purpose of just a technical part. But again, I might go back to oils, I might go back to paper, you never know. It's a process, it's definitely something that I'm prepared to experiment more.
So what else have you been doing this year?
Well, as I say, I have
been
been
the exhibition and working.
I have been not exhibiting this year, but just pretty much working full time as a teacher,
yes.
art teacher. So that took a lot of my time, preparation lessons, marking, and so on. There was exhibition, large exhibition in
London,
school as well. It is in London.
Yeah.
I'm not actually in that school anymore. I'm not working there. So I had a summer and I had a bit of September to finish all my works.
Yes.
Some of them are actually finished in September. Some of them are finished in 2014. Large pieces, but most of my work, most of the large pieces have been finished in 2015.
Yes.
So it's a few pieces which are not exhibited, not because of the constraint of space, but because I think they might not fit with this theme. They are great pieces of work as well.
Yes.
They are on sale as well, but they might even be put later on in the gallery, we'll see. But yeah, there was about 10 large pieces, and at the moment I'm exhibiting 6 of them. So
what are your next plans?
I'm very pleased about what is going on with this and how I developed it. And I'm thinking, because I have been reading a lot about different artists, I continually do. I learn new things from artists, I visit exhibitions, but
yes.
I'm thinking to take 99 artists, favorite artists that I've seen, and perhaps to do their portraits, but in new, innovative way where they are not recognized really, but maybe there is some certain familiarity with the portraits, which is a quite tricky subject to do, to represent a portrait where somebody famous is on the portrait, famous artist or not so famous artist, that influences me in one way or the other, and to present them in a new way, to not have really depiction of that person, but rather more about him, spirit or color, or how they depicted themselves as a self-portrait, what colors they used, position of the body, or just the faces, maybe not using even a body, but just going to faces, just portraiture. So that's something I'm interested about, presenting enough to be interesting, but in the end of the day, when you look at it, to be interested to look at it, not caring is it somebody famous, not caring is it somebody not famous or somebody known.
Yes.
Just enjoying. So creating paintings for the art's sake.
Yes. I'm really surprised that some people in London have had issues with nudity in art. Because I thought
well,
would have been a lot more.
Nudity is not anything. It's not new, but there is all kind of cultures and perceptions about the way the world should be, the way the art should be, and what is allowed and what is not allowed, morality, and we grew up in the end of the day in different
dictatorship then.
Well, I wouldn't call it dictatorship. We just grew up in different surroundings or families or something that we accept as normal or not normal, and people are just different.
Yes.
And I appreciate difference. Yes. I applaud the difference. Some people hate difference. So, yes. You know, maybe it's a strong word, hate difference. They don't like it, they dislike it.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say it in that way. Well, art likes everything, and artists should be open to everything, and I believe that that is the way forward. Trying to do different things, see what works, what doesn't, think about it, talk about it, show it to people, listen to what they say.
Yes.
If they don't like it, ask them why they don't like it, find about it.
Yeah.
You know, accept constructive criticism.
Yeah.
Not just saying, you know, I hate it because of this. It's good, it's good.
Yeah,
it's not good.
If somebody does dislike something, they should be able to back up their statement, really.
Absolutely. So. It's not enough saying that they like it, or even when they say I like it and they got nothing to back up why they like it, it's not enough.
Yeah. So what else can we look at?
We can look at this one. This one is one of the quietest pieces. Lots of people like it because this is a piece where we don't have much time to do. It's a piece called Void.
Yes.
But it's a lady lying in a hammock, sleeping, just drifting away. It's a very subtle piece, very quiet piece, like I said. Purple hair is something as well, which is bringing us towards this century.
You got any of your hair in this one as well?
Yeah.
You've got the spray can there as well.
Spray can, I can use it, yeah. All you need is a little bit of masking tape and imagination how you're going to separate the colors, and it's a learning about how to use the media. That's one of the things.
Yes.
If it adds to it, then use it. If it doesn't, just it's pointless to have it in your work.
Yes.
And I think it does definitely adds to this one. It covers really nicely the big space, and it is about space. It's about void, which is missing there. In a way, there's white space and there's positive and negative. And I love this one because you can just lose yourself in that. You can sit and look at it for hours.
We've got to
it's very difficult to say why would I like it or dislike it, but I can just see that I can lose myself in this one. Yes. Sitting on the wall, almost like you don't need a television, it's just a quiet time.
It reminds me of the students in Plymouth sitting on the waterfront and putting their hammock in between the posts, which they've started doing during the last 2
They do that, that's brilliant, yeah. I didn't know that people still do that. I suppose students can afford it. They can just enjoy in their free time and without any pressure in the world.
Yeah.
Then again, when they grow up and they have families, and perhaps if they think about pension future,
yes.
it's a chase, specifically rat race in London the way it is. People are traveling a lot, people are doing lots of different things, which I have actually used in my very previous exhibition about travel and the problems of commuting.
Yeah.
So
where are you working now?
At the moment I am not actually employed. I'm starting to get into secondary education again.
Yeah.
So this was this position where I was, it was a year contract. So I need to get a full-time position now. So I'm preparing myself to get into teaching again.
Yeah.
Which I love it. Teaching is great. This school specifically had really talented young artists.
Yes.
And
how long were you there for?
I was there for a year, since almost a year.
Yeah.
7 months, 7.5 months. So
another experience and learning curve.
Well, you always learn. You need to allow yourself time to learn.
Yes.
You can learn from children, you can learn from grown-ups, you can learn from elderly people, from different cultures.
Yeah.
You just need to be open to learn new things.
Yeah.
You might not want to use them, but you understand better.
Yeah.
You get the knowledge, and knowledge is that's what we need. That's what everyone needs.
Yeah.
In the end of the day, when I am creating pieces, if I knew how to create them, I wouldn't do them.
Yeah.
So every time, even when I do the sketches and preparations and all this, I'm always excited. And this is why I do art, because it excites me in a way, but that nothing else is. Creating, process of development, because when you start with a drawing or sketches or an idea even, it develops. And to become art, it needs to have that extra sprint.
Yeah.
So when I start doing something, because specifically now, because it's a stencil or if it is spray paint, you need to actually think about it. But then once you do spray that, you need to think about position.
Because you can soon make a mistake, can't you?
Yeah, you can easily make a mistake, and I appreciate actually that mistake. If it's perfect, I think that line, which is perfect line, sometimes can take away from the art.
It's a bit like Andy
It's
Warhol.
almost like energy. Yeah, Warhol.
Taking away perfection, having it slightly off.
I suppose he's doing it in a different way. He's doing it with larger pieces. He's doing it with color. He's doing some surprises, questioners about what is art or what isn't. So in a way, he's trying to do different things.
Yes.
I suppose, especially in his time when he was creating artwork, he was thinking quite hard about how he's going to do his art. Now, I'm drawing, I'm painting. It's not something very new, it's very old.
Yes.
But to do it in a different way, in my own way, I would suppose, as I'm supposed to say, in my own way. So you can recognize it. If you see it somewhere else, you can recognize it. It's mine. That is what I'm trying to achieve as well.
To your work, basically.
Yeah, it's not that my work needs to be the same. That I need to create the same pieces over and over, or create a style, but some kind of energy.
Is it constantly evolving?
I suppose so. That's what I would think that I'm achieving.
Yes.
That it's evolving with media, with use of media, with different scale, different subject. Format, just not to put myself in some kind of format that people will say, oh, he's this kind of artist or that kind of artist. Just simply to be artist.
Yes.
Which is quite a difficult thing to do, to be. And I suppose that's what I'm trying to do with my art. Investigate, research, create, recreate, make rules, break rules, reinvent. All these things come into play.
Well, thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you for coming.
And you're on Facebook?
I am on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook or on internet. I'm all around Instagram.
Can you give them your Facebook and your internet?
My website is alexbasic@yahoo.co.uk. Facebook is Aleksandar Basic. Aleksandar is spelled with KS instead of X.
Yes.
And you can find me everywhere. I'm probably on all social networks. That's another new thing which everyone is doing at the moment, I suppose. Even kids are doing now.
Use social networking site as a tool.
Yes, it's a must. It's a must. Social media has been for around a few years. It's on mobile phones.
Yeah.
Everyone
it's revolutionised the way people communicate and
I suppose
changing the boundaries everywhere.
Well, yes, everyone has an opinion and they can express it now on Twitter or
they
Facebook.
change their opinion by listening to other people as well.
I hope so.
I do too.
I think people should create opinions and take them and listen to the others and have a discussion and make up their own opinions. Sometimes it's a process and it takes time, but art is a process and it's been taking 20,000 years and it's a process which is continually changing and in 20th century it's changed a lot. I believe that was a great period of time when lots of new artists came and surfaced and created something new, creative, inventive. Hopefully 21st century is going to be exciting as 20th.
I think so.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, cheers.
Thanks. I'm going around, just get it. There's some food upstairs, so
well, that was
Jorge is a friend and he's married to another friend of ours and this is my friend from primary school.
Right. Were you in Croatia?
No, she's not in London, it's Southampton, in England. Southampton.
Came down and
it's a small place, it's Southampton.
Yeah, and it's bored, so you don't really, but really literally you get out of Southampton.
It's beautiful.
Kilometers now. I'm staying in Manchester. And then, so everyone said, oh, don't worry, really, just you step out and then I say, yeah, I can believe I've never seen that. It's really
You think they're selling you something?
Yeah, so and that's why we don't talk.
Exactly. You just step like 10 minutes, whatever. If you buy a car or if you
just take a picture.
Right.
So what's the story of this painting?
This painting is about two women, and it is based on Gustave Courbet painting again. But my idea to have some kind of backdrop of this is almost like looking into video games, because I was growing up with video games like Space Invader and things like that, and I love that kind of shape, simple shapes. And
those little blue images that dive across the screen and disintegrate as you.
They are. When you you know, it's something that as a kid we loved it. We loved those games. We loved comic books, and I grew up with those. European comic books, American comic books, you name it, I read them. And I loved it. I still read sometimes some of them. And I thought about the Space Invader, and I thought about what Courbet was using, and I used already one of the images, which is a bird from his paintings. And then I decided, okay, I'm going to make a backdrop with cutouts, which are going to resemble images of birds, but also some modern technology as well, in a way, from influences from video games.
Yes.
Now, because it's so perfect with what you can do with the spray paint, I actually make mistakes intentionally and drip that paint to make big splodges. So in that way, I get I feel some energy from it.
So you did sort of mention in passing, but I noticed that you're not using a lot of canvases or any at all.
Not for this one. For this one, it was specifically done on paper, and it was decision, which was a process as well. Like these small pieces, they started off. So 2014, 2013. You can even see some decisions which are made with pencil.
Yes.
And then I decided, okay, I want to create something using ink, but maybe adding something more. And it just builds up on that. And then I test one, and I like it, or I dislike it, and I use it in a different way. Again, testing it. It's just experimenting. Once you start, you just try something new every time. Even though it looks that they gel in together as a theme, there are different processes or similar processes of creation.
Yes.
Some of them with stencils, some of them with cutouts, some of them with spray paint, some with hair, human hair. Some of them don't have that.
So it's mixed media.
So it's mixed media, but not all of the pieces have the same part involved. Some of them have color, some of them almost without color. Some of them have just greys and maybe a little bit of pink or maybe a little bit of yellow.
It's a good job you can grow your beard fast, really, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I won't tell where the hair comes from. well guessed.
Something to do with rabbits.
Yeah, so it's a texture, part of the texture which actually adds to the painting.
Yeah.
If it doesn't do anything for it, then I wouldn't use it. I love experimenting.
I like the way you say some of your words. It's slightly northern in the accent.
Oh yeah, well, I've lived in Derby, I lived in Manchester, and I live in London. So probably because I'm foreign anyway, I was born in Croatia, then Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
So I picked up accents probably around the country.
Yeah.
That's probably still developing as my paintings.
Yeah, nice one. Thanks a lot again.
Thank you very much.
Let's see.
Hello, what are your names?
Hello, I'm Ilana, and this is...
And are you enjoying this exhibition?
Oh, it's interesting. It's different to what we saw before.
Have you seen Alex's work before?
Not live. We saw several of his paintings, but on the internet and you know, postcards. Yeah, we got a few postcards. Yeah.
So which ones do you like?
What's our favorite? Well, we like this one best. We like the texture. It's rather different to what we've seen before. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And what did we say? We like the background more, so that it's rather different and unique. Yeah. Anything else you want to say about this painting? What you like most?
Are you going to be a painter as well? Does it make you want to do painting?
Yeah, he's very keen. That's why we are here.
It's cool.
Came all the way from Southampton to admire these paintings. Yeah. So what did you say? Which part of this? What's so intriguing? Background is intriguing.
They're nice warm colours, aren't they?
So what do you think? What are these? Red. Oh, like words. You're right. I didn't notice those.
What was that, sorry?
There's smudged words, letters. I didn't notice that.
They're like computer figures, old Walkman. They're influenced by the old games, computer games.
What he's saying is about the words that are the background, the letters.
They look a bit like angels, don't they?
Yeah. Oh, some creatures as well. Yeah, I think that's what you like best, yeah?
Well, thanks a lot for your feedback anyway.
Thank you.
So what's brought you from Southampton? How did you get to know about his work?
Oh, Sasha and I, we went together in primary school. So we haven't seen each other for 25 years.
Crikey.
But it seems love for art, again, got us together. Yeah,
Right, thank you. Nice one.
Yeah,
it's tremendous. You can contact Alex at alexbasic.co.uk and alexbasic@yahoo.com and Twitter and also Facebook. This has been a ChrisSummerfield Media production 2015. You can contact me, sponsor me and support me at PayPal, christophersummerfield@gmail.com. Thanks for watching this historical video.